Have you ever found yourself sitting in your favorite chair, coffee in hand, thinking, is this really what retirement is supposed to feel like? Maybe you thought leaving the daily grind would be all relaxation and freedom, but instead, you're feeling a little adrift, like something's missing, but you can't quite name it. You're not alone. Retirement isn't just about financial plans or ticking off bucket list trips, though those matter too. There's a whole emotional side to this chapter that nobody really prepares us for. The quiet shifts in how we see ourselves, the way our days stretch out without structure, even the surprising loneliness that can creep in when the house feels too quiet. Today, let's talk about what no one teaches you about retirement, the things that don't come up in those glossy brochures or well-meaning advice from friends. We'll walk through 3 big lessons I've learned and ones I wish someone had shared with me years ago. By the end, you'll have some practical tools to not just manage retirement, but to truly thrive in it. Let's start with something we rarely talk about: identity. For decades, your job likely shaped how you saw yourself: teacher, nurse, engineer, parent, caregiver. Then one day, that title slips away, and suddenly it's easy to feel like, who am I now? I remember talking to my friend Margaret after she retired from teaching. She said, I used to introduce myself as Margaret, the 3rd grade teacher. Now I'm just Margaret. That just broke my heart. But here's the thing, retirement isn't about losing who you are. It's about rediscovering who you've always been, beyond the job. Start small, reconnect with hobbies you set aside, or try something entirely new. My neighbor Bob took up woodworking at 68. Now he builds birdhouses for the grandkids and says it's the most fulfilling thing he's ever done. Or volunteer even once a month. That sense of purpose, it's like fuel for the soul. Now let's talk about your days. Without the rhythm of work, time can feel like a vast, empty field. You might wake up and think, what's on the agenda today? And if the answer is nothing, well, that's where trouble starts. Structure isn't just for offices and school schedules. Our brains crave routine. It gives us anchors. But here's the secret. You get to design this one. No more 6 a.m. alarms unless you want them. Maybe your new routine includes a morning walk, an hour with a good book, or a weekly lunch with friends. And don't underestimate the power of a to-do list. Write down one thing you'll accomplish each day, even if it's just water the plants or call Susie. Checking that box, it's a tiny victory that adds up. Finally, let's address the elephant in the room: loneliness. We don't realize how much social connection comes from work until it's gone. The chats by the copy machine, the team lunches, even the grumpy coworker you secretly miss. But here's the good news. Connection is out there. You just have to seek it differently. Join a club you'd never have time for before. My cousin Ed started a breakfast club at his local diner. Same booth every Thursday. Now 6 retirees show up religiously for pancakes and gossip. Or try an online class. You'd be amazed how chatting with strangers about gardening or history can spark joy. These might seem like small steps, but together they're the foundation of a retirement that feels full, not empty. And you know what? We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore, like how to navigate relationships when you're suddenly home all day, or the surprising truth about staying busy versus finding real fulfillment. But that's a conversation for next time. For now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you felt that shift in identity? Found a routine that works? Share your story in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Remember, retirement isn't an ending, it's a new beginning, and you get to write the rules.